It's Platt, and we all know there ain't no law when you drink the claw. That's next on Platt's Drink of the Week. Well, all right, guys, we knew this day was coming. When and where, we weren't sure, but we knew it was coming. I am going to give White Claw a try. These are the sacrifices I made for you. We have White Claw Hard Seltzer. I purchased this particular can for $1.99, and it comes in at 5% alcohol by volume. What do we got here? White Claw Hard Seltzer. We have the mango flavored. 170 calories, 5% alcohol by volume, gluten-free, spiked sparkling water with a hint of mango. And on the can, it says 3 grams of carbs, gluten-free. That is what we got here. Let's start off first with a little background of White Claw. White Claw, the company, was founded in 2016 by a company called the Mark Anthony Group. Now, in my research, I haven't found the Mark Anthony, and it's for sure not the musician or the singer, actor that we know. But the company itself started in 1972, was a one-man wine importing company or venture. Back in the day, and you can still do this today, but there was a time where if you were overseas or just somewhere else and saw unique wine, beer, something like that, and wanted to bring it back, you would just get an importer's license. I technically, when I had my spirits company, I was technically an importer here in the state of Nevada. And the realization is once you get that license, whether you import one item or 50 items, it's the same license, same cost. So if you get in that business, you eventually start picking up different brands, and that's what happened at the Mark Anthony Group over the years. They picked up different brands. They also got into the spirits business. They have the Canadian whiskey brand Bareface, Glendronach Irish whiskey. Probably what they're most famous for, though, is they're the folks that gave us Mike's Hard Lemonade. So they already kind of knew this space of the alternative beverage, malt beverage, hard seltzer, what have you, with the success of Mike's Hard Lemonade. The product is produced in a couple of different places. Their original production facility in Glendale, Arizona. I believe a year or two ago they opened a new plant in South Carolina, and they have a distribution center in New Jersey. Now, I don't think I have to tell you, these hard seltzers have really made a big splash over the last few years and really have kind of bit into the beer market. And there's a couple reasons people think for that. One of them thinks just, things change. You look at and a good example was the controversy with Bud Light, in the sense that beer marketing has changed to a certain extent. We're not having ex-athletes drink beer anymore. We're not having bikini girl stuff like that. And that these new products like White Claw, we're going to more of a gender-neutral, millennial-friendly kind of advertising, more social media is believed, how they're kind of penetrating and getting to the millennials. Also, one of the big selling points, and something we'll get in today, is that this supposedly is a healthier or alternative to beer. The main selling point is this thing is gluten-free. Most of the products that you'll find in the hard seltzers in a 12-ounce can are going to come in, this is a 16, but in a 12-ounce can, you generally are around 100 calories and 2 grams of carbs. Now, I would challenge you folks, go look at the stats on things like Corona Premier, Michelob Ultra, whatever. You probably got about the same thing. It's the gluten-free thing that has really kind of pushed this as being healthy. Now, exactly what is White Claw? Because that's where we'll get into this. White Claw and your hard seltzers in general are a blend of carbonated seltzer water, just plain 0-calorie, simple, straightforward carbonated seltzer water, and an alcohol base. Now, their alcohol base is predominantly cane sugar. Again, gluten-free, though. It's sugar. It's pure cane sugar, but it is gluten-free. And then because depending on the jurisdiction, where sometimes you are forced to have some grain in there for it to be considered a beer to get on the shelves. I've talked about this in other videos. Their alcohol base is cane sugar and added malted non-gluten or gluten-free grain. Wheat's gluten, rye's gluten, barley's gluten. So all they're talking about then is corn, malted corn. So it's cane sugar and malted corn. And that gets, those sugars get fermented and what have you. The corn though, I'm pretty sure, and this is utilized in other beverages too, is going to be yellow food grade #1 corn in the US, which is a GMO corn. So you've got cane sugar and GMO corn in the new healthy drink, and it's gluten-free though, that's why. But that's what you got here. You may have a little fructose added for sweetness and then whatever flavor. And I've talked about in other videos, you can buy flavor anywhere. There's companies that make specific flavors for the beverage industry, whether you're doing a hard seltzer, a spiked drink, your own line of flavored vodka, gin, rum, scotch, whatever your flavored drinks, you just go buy flavor. And that's probably what we have going on here. So you feel free to do your own homework on whether this is really healthy or not. But like I said, go look at the numbers on your ultralight beers like Michelob Ultra, and then compare it to a White Claw, understanding though what is actually being fermented. Now, White Claw itself, besides a massive line of flavors, also has really developed a large line. They have really just exploded the last few years. They made up 60% of the hard seltzer market in 2019. I think it's down to about 50% now because other people have got into it. I know Bud Light is really starting to push their hard seltzer lines. But they have the original, which we have here, the original line, which is a 5% hard seltzer. They've come out with Surge, which is their line of higher ABV, 8%. Probably, because they're competing for space in those grocery stores and convenience stores with, other beers. Surge is probably their answer to things like Four Loko and some of your malt beverages, or malt liquors even. They do their own hard lemonades, different flavors at 5%. They've come out with Claw Tails, which are malt-based beverages to taste like cocktails, strawberry daiquiris, whatever. Those come in at 7%. And they even have their line of vodka sodas made with real vodka that are 4.5%, oddly enough. And then they've got their own line of vodka. And in looking at the marketing, they talk about it being 5-time distilled, corn only, gluten-free. Go to your liquor store and tell me, I guarantee, I know one for sure, but there's several others. You can find 5-time distilled, gluten-free, corn-based vodkas. Commercial ethanol is what you got. That is commercial ethanol, and they're buying commercial ethanol, cutting it down to 80 proof, and then adding their flavors. But that's what we got here. With that being said, though, let's try the Claw. Bottoms up. Well, that's mango. This is light, this is easy. Full disclosure, I had tried White Claw years ago, like 2017, 2018. When I worked on the strip, I had some regulars who owned bars up in Montana, and they told me about this and that it was catching on there, and that, hey, this is the new thing. And I remember trying it at the time. I'm like, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'm still not too far off in that. I understand, because I still bartend, I still talk to people. I understand why this would work with the younger crowd. It is easy drinking. It goes down easy. They've gotten better in some of these fermented malt beverage type products, kind of getting rid of a lot of yeast aftertaste you get on earlier iterations of stuff like that, your old school Zimas, what have you. They've done a real good job of that. The seltzer water with the effervescence or whatever, it does help make it go down easy. Flavors, they've got flavors down. So it's really just making sure you kind of execute the product, it goes down easy. That being said, though, I've had other hard seltzers. How you differentiate, I don't know. How do you, then it becomes kind of a marketing deal. Is this something I'd normally drink? No. That being said, on a hot day, someone gave me one, I probably would, but yeah, it's not bad. I don't know how these products differentiate themselves, but we did it. We reviewed the Claw. I think it's I would just tell you, it's your own personal choice. You're all adults out there. You can make up your decision on this. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or things in the liquor store you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.